Everybody, Andrew here with Private Investigator Advice. Don't stop the video. I got some cool information here. In this video, I'm going to talk about 7 tips on choosing the right surveillance camera.
Good point.
Seven's the key number here. Think about it.
Right.
7-Elevens,
Yeah.
7 dwarfs. 7, man, that's the number.
Let's get into it. Okay, so if you've seen my older video on zoom, zoom is very important to a surveillance investigator, especially when you're videotaping from far away. So the first thing you want to know is, how much zoom does it have? The difference between 72 times zoom and 32 times zoom is significantly different. So definitely test out the zoom when you're at the camera store, the Best Buy, wherever it is. Just turn on the camera and start zooming in on something to see how far you can get and how close you can see the image. The second thing you should consider is how much digital zoom does it have versus how much optical zoom it has. Why, you ask? Because optical zoom has a much clearer image than digital zoom. When you focus in with digital zoom, what it's doing is taking the picture and just basically magnifying the existing picture, and it's going to be pixelated. So you want to look out for that. The more optical zoom, the better. The third consideration you need to have is, what is the video like in the dark or low lighting conditions with your video camera that you're going to purchase? Most of the time you're going to get pixelation to some degree or fuzziness during the dark, no matter what video camera you have. But the degree of fuzziness and pixelation need to be considered. So you need to at least do some research, find out if there's any reviews on the camera, and see what they're saying about low lighting conditions when you're videotaping. Number 4! Something you probably are not thinking about, but you need to consider is, how long does it take for the camera to turn on when you open it? I know, seems like a silly thing, but if your person's coming out of their house or out of a business, and you flip open the camera or you turn it on, and it takes a long time to boot up, and it's saying Panasonic, and it's doing this thing, and then you're able to videotape, those few precious seconds might be the only time you get from them walking out of their house or the restaurant or whatever to their car. So you need to see, when you're at the store, how long does it take to open? And that's probably the only way you're really going to know, unless I review the camera, and in that case I'll share that information. So how long does it take for you to turn it on and start recording? Another thing to consider is the connectors on the video camera. When you plug in your cords to pull the video out or to play it with Dazzle, when you do that over time, those cables wear out and the ports in your camera wear out. I found that with Panasonic, it has more like a headphone jack on the camera, and that has not worn out since I've been using it. So take a look at that. Not a major consideration, but just something to look at. The next consideration you want to have is, what does the camera come with? So you're going to be looking for things like chargers, cables to connect from your computer to your camera, things like that. You want to see what you're getting for the cost. I know I was very disappointed one year when I bought a Sony camera and all I got was this USB cable to plug into some adapter that they didn't provide. And they stopped providing chargers. So that really upset me. Lucky for me, I had a charger from another camera that happened to connect, so I didn't have to spend any money on it. But find out what's in the box, see what the different value is, compare it with different cameras. Number 7! Number 7 is, you might want to consider buying a used camera versus a new camera. Sometimes you can spend half the money and get a decent camera without having to buy something brand new. Of course, you can go on eBay, Amazon, but just something to think about. There's also some dangers with that. You could buy something that's defective or doesn't work like you thought it was going to work when you got it. But just something to think about to save some money on the cost. You can also buy something that's an older model. I found that during Christmas time, or when a new model of camera is coming out, those older models are cut like in half. So look for those at like Walmart and things like that, and you might find a really good brand new camera for cheap. The main point of this video is, you just got to understand, with anything that you buy for your career, just remember, it's for your career. So it's an investment, and I know you guys want to spend money that you're not going to feel like you're wasting. So that's why I made this video, so you can think about these things. You don't have to take cameras back or get stuck with a camera that you didn't like or isn't working for you.